Hey guys, and welcome to the Good Space. If you don't already know, the Good Space is your favorite safe and warm space where I conduct interviews with friends, colleagues, anyone that I feel I can have a deep chat with that will benefit you, the listeners. If you're new here, please make sure you subscribe so you can hear the next episode and go back and listen to my previous episodes. I've covered various topics, for example, mental health and social media, mental health and reality TV, mental health and being a mother, mental health and the healing journey, and so on. Today is Time to Talk Day. It's a day where we as a nation are encouraged to talk about mental health. So I definitely had to have an episode today. Today I will be talking with my friend, family, and nail tech, Danielle, and we are going to be talking all things mental health and healing journey. Hey guys, welcome to the Good Space. As I mentioned previously, today is Time to Talk Day. So I thought it would be fitting to speak with someone who I actually have quite deep chats with on a regular. She's a friend, she's family, and she's also my nail tech. Danielle,
Hey,
how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, I'm
Thanks for
good.
having me.
Oh, I'm happy to have you. I feel like we have really good conversations, and I just
Yeah,
think
we do.
well. Um, I don't know if you do it on purpose, but I feel like sometimes I sit in your chair and I'm just like, it's almost like a therapy chair, but it works both ways on both sides. I'm like,
Yeah.
and you're like, I'm like,
You're not the first person that I've had tell me that. And honestly, my clients, my friends, they give me the same. Like, I feel like it's a safe space in here for us to share how we feel, what's going on with us, and get your nails done too.
I mean, it's
Um,
lovely.
it's
And
lovely.
I feel like it's a great shift because I see it a lot on socials where people are like, I hate going to get my nails done. I guess the traditional way, like when you go to the nail shop, the nail salon, because it's like, it doesn't feel homey and cute. It's cold most of the time. I just want to drop my hands off and leave. It doesn't feel like self-care. But when I get my nails done, it genuinely feels like, yes, this is self-care time.
Yeah, that's definitely something that I try and bring as a personal nail tech. Because I know even from getting my nails done myself, it can be a bit uninviting. You just sit there, you're bored, the person does your nails and you go home. But I really do try and foster a relationship with people that come to me so they continue coming to me, number one, and that they feel comfortable and safe and happy whilst they're with me getting their nails done. So, yeah, that's what I aim to achieve. And I'm glad that you feel that way too.
You're definitely achieving it, so
Oh,
well done. Right. So, my first question for you today.
yeah.
How often do you actively check in on your loved ones about their mental health?
How often do I check in with my loved ones? I feel like I don't have a time scale, but I feel like the people that I have in my life I know quite well. So if I've noticed they've been a bit quiet or we're not really talking as much, I feel like the first conversation that I try and go back into is how are you doing? Like, and try and get them to open up to me. Probably I could do more in terms of like checking in, but I feel like I check in as much as others check in with me. So if they notice that I've also been a bit quiet, if I've not really been myself, then they check in with me and vice versa. So that's the way that me and my friendships generally go. But I speak to my friends at least once a week. The four friends I do have, I speak to them at least once a week. So yeah, I feel like when we have these conversations, we get a feel of where our heads at and if there's anything going on, like just not even really as a from a problem solving perspective, because sometimes as friends we don't have all the answers, but a listening ear is something I can always give. Yeah.
Yeah, I really like that. I'll touch on two things that you said. The four
Mhm.
friends I have. I think as we grow older, it's so important to use that friend term correctly
Yeah,
because
I'm very strict with how I use the word friend now. Very
you
strict.
must be, you have
Yeah.
to, because I don't believe you can be a good friend to too many people at one time.
No.
People are going to fall to the wayside. You're not going to check in on them if there's loads and loads of people to check in on. It's
Hmm.
not possible. But I think having that core that you can, check in, make sure they're good, I think that's really important.
Yeah, I agree. Um, to be honest, like, okay, I don't want any of my friends to hear this and think, "Rah, the four friends, like, who are they? Like, am I not part of it?" But the four people that I speak to on a consistent basis that are consistently checking in on me, those are the people that I count as my friends. I know loads of people. I love loads of people love me, but I'm definitely realizing as I get older, the more simple, the more small I keep my circle, the better it is for my well-being, because then I also don't feel as much pressure on myself to check in on people who are not checking on me.
Yeah.
It needs to be a two-way street. That's the way that I see it. So it's all about reciprocation and capacity. I don't have the capacity to check on 15 people a week, unfortunately. I'm
More
very
than
busy girl.
that.
I've got my own stuff going on as well. But yeah, I keep my circle small. Keep it
Yeah,
simple.
I agree.
That's what works
Absolutely.
for me.
I agree. I think that's great. So just leading on from that, how important do you think it is to talk about your mental health with your friends, but also family as well?
I think it's very important. I think I used to be somebody that would try and be, God's strongest soldier and keep it all to myself, and I can do it on my own. I don't want to burden anybody, but you do need to burden people. You need to lean on your community. You need to also be somebody that your community can lean on, because we're not built to do this life thing alone. I feel like human beings, we're stewards of each other. We need to look after each other, and trying to do things alone only creates more grief for you, and it pulls you away from people as well, because then what I used to do, I'd have my we have my crisis, I would try and deal with it alone, and then end up pulling away from people, and then people don't really realize why are you being so cold to me all of a sudden, why are you not checking in as much, and then it creates a lot of anxiety. When I'm ready to talk about what I'm going through, it creates a lot of anxiety, because I know that I've already past what I've gone through. This person can't really help me now, because I'm at the end stage of whatever I'm going through. So I'm not even giving them an opportunity to be there for me. So giving people an opportunity to be there for you, also giving others an opportunity for you to be there for them, is really important. We're not supposed to do this life thing alone.
I think you've literally given a great rundown of why it is important,
Mhm.
especially you touching on the fact that it can also have a reverse effect where you're feeling crap and they can't help you because you've sort of worked out on your own. And I can relate to that. And I started to realize I was doing something really stupid where I was almost building resentment towards the people that didn't help me in
Yeah.
the situation that they didn't
Hmm.
know what's going on,
They don't
which is
know.
ridiculous.
It is, and I was the same way, in the sense that I would pull myself away and be like, oh, nobody's checking on me. Oh, they don't care. And it's like, we have to break feeling like that.
Yeah.
Everybody feels low.
Yeah.
Everybody, like, I feel like I'm not sure about the statistics, but I feel like everybody at one point in their life will experience mental health.
Yeah.
So we're not alone in the experience of feeling low, of feeling
Mhm.
crap, feeling anxious. A lot more at peace and in harmony with my friendships now that I let people know what's going on in my life. And I would even do this thing where I would tell like one person out of my friendship group what's going on, or two people, and then not tell the others. And that in itself is unfair as well. Of course, you're making that decision of, okay, this is what I have the capacity to tell people. But when you're part of a friendship group, it can create rifts, because other people feel like, why couldn't you not tell me about this? I would have loved to have been there for you. Like, I love you. I want to be there for you. So you really have to give people the opportunity as well to know your struggles. Yeah, if you're
Yeah.
comfortable doing so, because I know it's not easy sometimes when you're going through real deep shit. I don't know what else to say. Apologies. Um, it can be it
Fine.
can be yeah, it can be difficult to strike up that conversation about what you're going through. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And I think we touched on friends quite a bit there. I also think with family, if you feel comfortable, especially if you're in close proximity, the
Mm,
same applies. I do think a lot of us do this thing where we're going through a lot and we unfortunately start taking it out on the people closest to us without letting them know what we are going through. And a lot of the time, the people closest to us in proximity is our family.
yeah.
And they're wondering why your mood's changed so much. Maybe your mum's trying to have that conversation with you, and it's not the day, mum, because I'm annoyed. Okay, I've got
Yeah.
things.
I think
But
I think family for me is so tricky. I think the reason why I highlight friends so much is because, to be honest, my family haven't been all that much helpful with my mental well being. actually, in a lot of times, they've been the one to cause me mental distress. So it's hard to lean on others in my family about things that other family members have done,
Hmm.
because they are also emotionally tied to that person. So it's like they don't have the perspective to see outside of it. And
Yeah.
they will I feel like the lot of advice I get from family when I talk about family is, they're your family, you've known them forever, like let it go. And it's like, it's just not that simple. And it's even harder, I would say, when it's family that have hurt you, because you love them so much. It's like, how could you do this to me? And I'm just a girl. I'm just a human being girl. You
What?
know? So I also have my own ego about certain things. That's something I'm trying to work on this year. I'm trying to have less of an ego when it comes to approaching hard conversations. I'm
Hmm.
not there yet. I'm not perfect.
Journey. God's still
It's
working on us.
God is
Fine.
still working on me,
Yeah.
but it's difficult when, it's just the excuse of they're your family come into it, because they're your family, yes, but I'm a human being first. Outside of being a daughter, outside of being a cousin, a sister, I'm also a human being. I have my own emotions and my own reactions to certain things. So that can be really difficult.
Yeah. I very much agree with that. I'm totally against oh, they are your family, so she is your so. I
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of that. And I had to do a lot of unlearning on that topic, a lot of reading about toxic parents, toxic family members, and how you don't
Yes.
owe them your love, space. You don't owe them because you were born into this family or, into this circle, extended family, whatever it is. So I agree with you completely on that.
Mhm.
I don't always think being the bigger person and being more Christ-like means forgiving and continue relationships with people. I don't think that. I think it means forgiving and just understanding that we are no longer the people we used to be, and maybe we don't need to be in each other's space like that. I still love you, respect you, and want the best for you, but our dynamic has changed, and that's okay. I
Mhm.
don't necessarily mean it means you have to be around this person who's no longer good for you. I just don't feel like that's what he wants for us. I don't think forgive and forget necessarily means forgive, forget, and then go back into that toxic dynamic. I just,
I agree.
yeah.
Especially when I feel like others are not doing the work that it takes to be part of a harmonious relationship.
Yeah,
I don't want
yeah,
to undo the work that I'm trying to do,
absolutely.
trying to force a friendship or relationship that isn't conducive to either of us.
Mm,
Yeah.
I agree. I think there's a difference between forgiveness and reconciliation. We can
Hmm.
forgive, but we don't have to reconcile if you're not willing to do the work as well, and that's okay.
We good over here. It's okay.
Okay, so oh, that brings me on nicely to my next question. What steps have you taken in 2024 to better your mental health?
Getting in the gym. I started the 75. Okay, I'm doing 75 soft, and then even a bit softer, because I'm taking a break every 3 days because I can't come and kill myself.
Right.
But I've been in the gym. Yeah, I've been in the gym, and it's been really good for me. I feel like keeping that commitment to
Mhm.
doing something that's hard. I don't always want to do. Sometimes I'm going there tired. I'm yawning on the machine, but I'm still there. I'm still there. I'm dedicated to finishing
Mhm.
this, because I feel like I'm trying to replace bad habits, bad coping mechanisms. Instead of going home to binge eat or using substances to try and forget my reality, I'm doing something that I know my body and my mind will thank me for in the long run. So that's one thing that I'm doing. Um, I'm meeting up with friends who I know who are good for me, making intentional time. I just came back from a holiday last week, and I've put in times in my calendar that I want to catch up with old friends, have dinners, do things that are outside of drinking and partying and things like that. Yeah, so and doing more activities as well. When I was on my holiday in Ghana, I did things on my own for the first time. So I went quad biking for the first time on my own. I went go karting. I went to the waterfalls in Abri, and I feel like doing more things alone is building up my self confidence and my self esteem. That I don't need others with me to enjoy myself. I can go out. I can do new experiences. I can do the things that I want to do without having to have the confirmation from a friend that, oh yeah, we're gonna go together. I feel like that's improving my self-confidence and my well-being. And I touched on it just slightly before, but not using substances has also given me such clarity and peace of mind. My paranoia all the way down, my peace all the way down. My relationship with my mum has become so much better too, because she can see that I'm making the effort to be present and do what I need to do for my well-being. Instead of saying, "Oh yeah, I'm doing what I need to do for my well-being. This chills me out." No, I'm actually doing the work necessary that will chill me out. I'm not coming home thinking about, oh, is it obvious, or do I like am my eyes look red? Like, I'm not thinking about that. I'm not having to do the mental gymnastics or what it takes to hide a substance abuse secret. So that's been really good for my well being as well. And just pouring into myself, like giving myself positive affirmations, continuing to work really hard on my business, just putting my all into things that I know are conducive and positive for my energy. Um, Another thing that I've been doing is I am now an official retired people pleaser.
Period.
I'm not people pleasing anymore. I'm pleasing the Lord and myself. I am not bending over backwards unnecessarily. I'm not overdoing what my role is to make others happy or to make others see my value. And I'm just chilling out. I'm letting people do what they need to do. I'm holding up my own boundaries, and if they don't like it, that is fine. Being respectful, you're being respectful, and we can live in mutual harmony. That's what I'm about this year. Yeah.
What? Standing on.
Standing
No,
on
that was
business.
amazing. I love to hear all of that. I can relate to all of that.
This conversation in itself, like, this is what I'm about right now: a growth
Mhm,
mindset, talking
mhm,
about wellness, talking about what we're
mhm.
doing to support our well-being. This is the theme for my 2024.
Period.
I'm back into journaling quite heavy as well,
Yeah.
and leaning on my own self-reflection rather than venting to others, because I found that that can also be quite toxic for me to keep engaging in. I'm venting. It's great to vent, and sometimes, of course, conversation is fantastic, but I feel like you can get into quite a loop of negativity
Yep.
there as well,
Yep.
and you're just constantly ruminating on things rather than self-reflecting and coming to acceptance on your own about things. That's what I'm also trying to lean more into, rather than talking to external people about my issues. I'm still talking to people, still talking to
Yep.
my therapist,
Yep.
but I'm also taking responsibility and taking charge of processing my own emotions.
Now you just spoke about essentially trauma dumping,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's really important to be aware of that. As with journaling, I feel like you can look back at that and be like, okay, why was I feeling like this? You can pick it apart, you can work in it, or you can bring it to your therapist in the next session. You spoke about substance abuse. In my previous early beginning, starting of the good space, I think when I started the good space, one of my first episodes was about, what was it called? I don't know, it had some mad name, but it was basically about like um quitting smoking
Mm-hmm.
and the changes that it had made to my mental state. And you touched on something that I didn't, and it was the mental gymnastics of coming into the house and being like, oh, do I smell? You know, I should be doing this. I'm not either. And that was actually
it,
a really
it's
big part of it.
Yeah, it's so much work to hide, because my parents will never would have never accepted that.
Yeah,
Even like with all my hiding, and I've got my smell proof bag, I've got my spray, I've got my gum. They were never gonna accept that,
yeah,
and I had to do so much work to try and keep that hidden, that it was pulling me away from them. I would stand outside in the cold, make sure that I air out, chew gum, do laps around the house, go the long way around so that I could avoid any way of like seeing my mum on my way home,
yeah,
and then coming home and going straight to my room, not engaging with anybody downstairs. Like, it was creating so much distance between my family and I, and then I would turn around and blame it on them,
yeah,
that, oh, it's because like you don't accept me how I am. But it's like sometimes you need to change and I feel like coming off it gave me so much clarity about what it was that I was doing wrong,
yeah,
and I was able to finally be honest with myself that I did have an issue that I needed to take the time to come away from. I've I can gain a bit of respect when I'm speaking to my parents, and I can also speak to them calmly. I'm not gonna fly off the handle. I'm not gonna start doubling down and being disrespectful. I can speak calmly, get my point across, move on. I'm not gonna go away and start ruminating about it and be thinking, oh, they're this and they're that. I'm not in that negative cycle. So it's been really good for me, to be honest. I'm loving sobriety.
If you're someone listening and you're thinking about it and you can clearly see the negative
Yeah.
effects, because it's a conversation for another episode if we really go into it. But if it doesn't apply for you, don't take it on, because I don't have time for your headache. But all I'm saying is, if you can feel the negative effects of it, and you know, if you take a break, you will feel better, and that could potentially turn into you quitting forever. Just
Mm-hmm.
try to hear it. It's
Just
not
try.
easy. There are side effects.
Yeah.
But it's worth it. I'm like, I want to say like 4 years now, and I'm like, I don't even think about it. Like, I don't even like, oh,
That's really good.
I don't feel like that. So
That's really
just to
good.
let you know, it does go
Yeah.
completely. You don't even
I,
care.
I have I have been a little bit more irritable.
Yeah,
Sleep has been a bit of a hard one as well.
always the one.
But the positives definitely outweigh the negatives for
I
me.
love that.
Yeah. Also, another thing that I've been doing, so this is on your previous question, for a coping mechanism is dance. Dance
Yeah.
has been so good for me, like movement and dance, and I just put on Beyonce and I just dance for a second. That has helped me to alleviate so much anxiety. And I think I
Mhm.
read it somewhere that when you feel anxious or you feel angry, you should
Yep.
move.
Yep.
Get up, move, take deep breaths,
Yep.
dance. And I just be doing some crazy dancing. It's not even
Yep.
making any kind of
Yep.
choreographical sense,
Doesn't
but
matter.
it's fun and it helps me to release. And that's so much more of a positive, happy outlet than picking up a zoo. I
Yeah.
love it.
I love that. I can agree with you. For me, it's like just music or doing moves. I'll be getting my Britney Spears on in my room. I got it. I get you.
For me, it's Beyonce. Beyonce is always gonna get me right.
No, not Britney Spears music, her moves. You know how
Oh,
she's been doing them? Yeah, like, I'll be singing them. Like, oh, love it. So freeing. So my final question,
Mhm.
what advice would you give to someone who is trying to better themselves in 2024?
If you're trying to better yourself and you're not quite sure where to start, I would say do a happiness audit. Look at your life and think about the things that make you happy, the things that make you positive. Also look at the things that make you unhappy and the things that make you feel negative. Write them down so you can physically see it. It's not I feel like it's not even a thing of mentally thinking about it. Have it in front of you and take a deeper look at what it is, where the blind spots in your life are, and take that into account and see what you could do. So for example, if you're always feeling really groggy and lazy and your energy is always low, look into getting some supplements. You might be low in some minerals like magnesium is a great mineral, vitamin D, especially living in the UK. There's no sun here. Even in the summer, there's barely any sun here. So a lot of us are actually deficient in vitamin D, and that can cause a lot of low mood, anxiety, and things like that. So look into getting some supplements if you're able to. Or even another one that's really good for low mood is St. John's Wort. I'm not sure if anyone's that's listening has heard of this. Take a deeper look into it and also speak to your GP who's taking these things. But that is a natural mood alleviator as well. Um, find things that you enjoy, like outside of scrolling, outside of drinking and going out with friends. Find things that you enjoy, and you might actually realize that the things that you enjoy, the things that you wish you could do or you loved to do as a child, going outside and playing for hours and hours. Go outside and like do rock climbing or excursions. Go for walks. Go for hikes. Things like that. Um, and yeah, try and focus on what makes you happy and try and move away from what makes you feel negative. So if it's gossip or people who like to gossip, move away from that. If it's going out and partying that makes you feel like crap the next day, stop or reduce the amount of times that you go out. Or if you do go out, try and go out sober and have a lemonade instead of a rum and lemonade. You can still have fun sober. Like honestly, you actually it's even more fun because you get to people watch. Drunk people are hilarious. drunk,
Yeah.
drunk people are hilarious. Like that will even give you intent for the night in itself. So yeah, what else can I say? Look into getting therapy if you feel that your mental well-being is really at a low point. Therapy has been life-changing for me. Um, found a great therapist, and I feel really seen and heard, and she's been able to help me work through a lot of things in our sessions. And I feel like sometimes it's good also to, if you feel like you're a burden and you never are a burden, if you feel like you're a burden to your friends and your family and you can't speak to them, speaking to a therapist can kind of give you that space to express guilt free, because this is what that person is paid to do. Like, they are there to support you and help you. That's their job. So that has, for me, has helped to alleviate a lot of feelings of guilt. Yeah.
I feel like I'm just here like one auntie, like one proud auntie, like
Thank you. I listen, like, Rome was not built on a day, because even this time last year, my mental space was so much different from what it is now. It's only God and faith and hard work that has got me to be where I am in the terms of where I am mentally and with my resilience, because I thought sometimes you have to go low to go up.
yeah.
You have to go low and hit the ground so you can repel back.
Oh yeah.
Honestly, yeah.
Benita sent me this amazing TikTok. I'm going to send it to you after this.
Hmm.
And it illustrated the healing journey so beautifully.
Mm.
How all the mess, trauma rises to the top once you start it. And she
Hmm.
kept saying, like, 30% of people will quit here because
I
everything's
watched that last night.
the water one.
With the water in the
Wait,
the balls. Yeah.
I literally almost cried because it was so on point. I was like,
Hmm.
oh my gosh, like this is it.
When nobody that is watching this mistakes my cadence for like, oh, it's so easy. It's really, really hard, but you have to persevere. Your
Yeah,
future self, your higher self will thank you for persevering.
absolutely.
Have the uncomfortable conversations. Sit in the discomfort without relying on a substance or a person to take that feeling away from you. Journal. Speak to professionals. Go outside and take deep breaths. Take fresh air. Walk in nature. Do the work. Don't give up.
Shit is gonna come to the top
Hmm.
and having to actually deal with it, actually having to
Yeah.
things, whether that be people that you've known from yay high, whatever, like it's gonna happen.
Hmm.
But it will be worth it, as you
Yeah,
said.
I think even with that, that's something that I really resonate with. Like, on my journey to wellness, on my journey to making intentional decisions, I've lost a lot of people. And I feel like even still, I'm still coming to terms with it. I'm still trying to become okay with it, because I know it's for the best for me to not be friends with certain people because they're not conducive to my healing. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Danielle. That
No
was
worries,
amazing.
dear.
I
Thank
am
you.
really proud of you,
Thank
honestly.
you.
Keep doing it, keep doing the work, keep doing the nails because we need you.
I'm not going anywhere. The nails, is 2020 forever for me. I'm locked in.
um, let people know where they can find you, Danielle.
You can find me on my nail page at Nails by D Desiree, or you can find me on my main page, Danielle Desiree. Whichever you'd like to follow, I'm great on both.
Cheers. I will put the name in the bio for spelling and everything.
Yeah.
But yes, check her out. She's an amazing nail tech, honestly. Yeah, very proud of you and thank you for
You.
coming on and answering the
Thank you for
question.
having me.
Oh, anytime.